Every single one of you should want to be the absolute best that you can be as a district. And you guys are going to do that together. Where? Together. It's going to take every man. You understand? Every man and woman. Y'all forgive me for my language. I know I'm used to speaking to athletes, but it's teamwork that makes the dream work, right? So here I am. I changed my attitude. I went to school the next day. I hadn't been to school since Kelly died. The gang that I was in, we all sold dope and gambled from the same corner of the cafeteria every single morning. Is that too real for this room? Okay. We all sold dope and gambled from the same corner of the cafeteria every day. There were 17 guys that were high school age in the gang I was in. How many? 17. I went to the corner cafeteria, I pulled everybody together. I said, let me speak to y'all for a second. They all came together. They said, what's up, bro? I said, man, I decided yesterday I'm going against the flow. I got to do something different with my life. They're thinking I'm being emotional because last time they saw me, Kelly died. So they're thinking my friend died, I'm just being soft now. I said, no, I'm serious. I made a decision yesterday, man. I made a what yesterday? I got to graduate high school. They all started laughing because they knew no man in my family that ever graduated high school. I said, I'm serious, man. Y'all can respect what I'm doing or you can kick rocks. 3 out of 17. How many? 3 out of 17 said, Shep, you're brave enough to do something different. I'm with you, my guy. I'm not trying to be in this hood for the rest of my life either. That means how many guys are left? 14. Couple math teachers in here. 14. To this day, if I tell you I'm going back to my hometown to visit my homeboys, y'all know where I'm going? To the cemetery. All 14 of those guys died violent deaths. I'm not talking about car accidents. The other 3, different parts of the country, living positive lives. We had no idea that a decision we made in the corner of the cafeteria at 14 years old would literally set the pace for the rest of our lives. And I'm not talking to everybody in this room, but I'm talking to somebody, and you have no idea that a decision you make this specific morning could literally set the pace for the rest of your career and the rest of your life. If you make a commitment, hear the word, commitment. People ask me all the time, I travel all over the world, they say, Shep, man, because they used to know me as Big Shep. You know, I told you, I was a bad dude, I was around 350 pounds. People ask me all the time, Shep, how'd you lose the weight? It's been almost 6 years now that I've been down over 100 pounds. They say, Shep, how'd you lose the weight? I always say, I stopped trying and I committed. I'll say it again. I stopped trying and I committed. You need to take trying out of your vocabulary. Trying is a curse word. You hear what I'm saying? Trying is dying. There's no such thing as trying. If I asked one of you to stand up now and try to walk, what would you do? Either walk or not walk. Trying is dying. Everybody who tells you they're trying is lying to you. I'm going to try to pay them $40 next week. I'm going to try to get the report in on time. I try to have that done by Friday. Everybody who tells you they're trying, they're lying to you. Trying is dying. But when you're committed, see, when you're just trying, once you've attempted it, let's say whatever you try to do this school year, once you've attempted it the first month and it doesn't go your way, the first thing you say to yourself is, well, I what? Try. But when you're committed, you understand that a bend in the road is not the end of the road. You understand that I may fall off this horse, I may face a setback, I may experience some difficulty, but I'm not going to give in. I'm not giving up because I'm not trying anymore. I am what? Committed. Stop trying and commit. So whatever your goals are, personally, professionally, whatever your goals are, as a district, as an organization, I want you to make a commitment. Don't try to do it. Make a commitment. And that's what I did. I committed myself in the classroom. I committed myself. I changed who I was flowing with. Somebody in this room needs to hear that as well. Some of you, the thing that's holding you back is not your skills, not your ability. It's not even your mindset. It's your connections. Some of you are in toxic relationships. Some of you are hanging out with dream killers, even if they're on the staff. If they're just standing around filled with negativity and stinking thinking and negative dialogue. Either change that atmosphere, or you got to make a decision to disconnect yourself and let them go. I'll say that again. I wish I could sing. I sing like the girl from Frozen. Let it go, let it go, let them go. See, because I'd rather be lonely going up than have company going down. That you got to connect yourself to people. I connected myself to the right people. I disconnected myself from the wrong people, and I began to soar. I'm applying myself in the classroom. I'm applying myself in every area. I had a new attitude. I saw myself differently. I was applying myself. I was growing up at a time where it wasn't cool to be smart, you know? But I was a great student, you know what I mean? I had a librarian. She was from Kansas, in the middle of the hood, at Phyllis Wheatley Elementary. And, but she noticed that was a time when there was only one computer in the whole school. This back in 5th grade, but she noticed there was one computer. She was closing out her files for the year. And I told you, I was spending more than any kid in my school. But, so this is a time where you can only check out 2 books at a time. Now, this is my biggest secret. I do not share this everywhere I go. I'm proud of it now, but when I was growing up, this is my biggest secret. Not any abuse, not anything else. This is my biggest secret. I loved to read. And everywhere my mother could not afford to take me, I could go through a book. So even when I was suspended, I would jump the back fence by the cafeteria, sneak into the school, go into the library, drop off 2 books, and check out 2 more. The librarian, Ms. Wise, she was closing down her system for the year. This was not like some reading challenge or something. She was just closing down and it calculates all the students, all the books are in and she noticed the worst kid at our school read the most books. I read 186 books my 5th grade year. I love education, I love learning, but now I can be open about it. Now I've made a decision, I want to turn my life around at 14 years old. I'm in 9th grade, got a new attitude, and this buzz is going through my school. This buzz is going through my community. That Shep kid is totally different. People knew I was different because they could see the change. I didn't go stand on the desk in the lunchroom and say, hear ye, hear ye. I'm changed now. I will no longer be bullied. Watch me. No, people knew I was changed because they could see the change. They go, what? See the change. Some of you are ready to make a change, ready to make a transformation, but you're talking too much. It's time to stop talking and start walking. You know what I'm saying? People saw the change. And then I began to be recognized. Everybody was talking. There was a coach that came over to me and he said, Shep, why don't you come play football? I said, play what, coach? He said, play football. I said, coach, I don't know anything about football. He said, Shep, I saw you in the gym. You're pretty athletic. I said, thank you. He said, what are your plans? Don't you want to go to college? I said, coach, no man in my family's ever graduated high school. My mom don't have money to send me to college. He said, Shep, don't you know if you work hard enough in the classroom and on the football field, you could get a scholarship? I said, get a what? He said, a scholarship. I said, get a what? He said, a scholarship. True story. I had never heard that word before in my entire life. I said, what's that? He said, somebody would pay for you to go to college. I went home that night and stayed up all night long. Have you ever been about to ask your parents for something you knew they'd probably say no to? So you got to get your speech together, you know what I'm saying? So I'm sitting in the middle of the dark like, Mom, first of all, I love you, and you are so beautiful, and have I mentioned how clean my room is? You know, I'm trying to get my speech together. But I forget, you can't sit in the middle of the dark on a black woman in the hood. My mom's black, surprise. You can't sit in the middle of the hood of a black woman. She walks in the middle of the night after a shift at Waffle House. Oh! Boy, what are you doing up? I said, Mom, I want to play football. She said, you don't know anything about football. I got another shift in a few hours. I'm going to bed. I know that hallway is short in that project apartment. Before my mother could get to her room, I said something out loud to her that honestly I never even told myself. I said out loud to my mom, I said, Mom, I want to go to college. She stopped where she was. By the time she turned around to me, her tears were already underneath her cheeks. She said, are you trying to hurt me? She said, no man in our family ever graduated high school. I'm barely putting food in y'all's stomach. You think I got money to send somebody to college? I said, no, Mom, I'm not trying to hurt you. A coach came to me today, and he said, if I work hard enough in the classroom and on the football field, your son, me, I can get a scholarship. She said, get a what? I said, a scholarship. True story. She said, get a what? I said, a scholarship. She had never heard that word before in her life. She said, what's that? I said, he told me somebody would pay for me to go to college. I told y'all I keep it real with y'all. She said, that white man is lying to you. She told me no that night. Next morning, wakes up, she said, let me know when you get up to practice this spring ball. I don't even know, like I had never watched football before. I know it's hard to believe, but Bo who? Herschel what? I knew nothing about football. So I'm trying to learn like the sport. I'm in the back of the lines trying to learn the spring football in Florida. I got the jock strap on my head, I'm lost. I don't know where I'm going. But I was applying myself, and I had a new attitude, and I was willing to put in the work. Some of you got good connections. Some of you got your attitude right. Some of you, the part that you're struggling with, as far as going against the flow and having this record-breaking year and making sure there's nothing that stops you, is the work ethic. You think somebody's going to come hand you all your hopes, dreams, and aspirations for this year and just sit them in your lap? Silly rabbit tricks for kids. If you want something out of life, you got to go to work. And it's time for some of us to get our minds right, put our hard hat on, roll our sleeves up, and go to work. If you want to see the results you want to see in and around your life, if you want to see your students set and break records, I want you guys to make a decision that I'm willing to put the work in. I'm willing to grind. I'm willing to do all that it takes to get the results that I want. And I was working that hard. There's a middle school coach and a pastor from that area, 2 older white gentlemen. They sounded just like Ned Flanders from The Simpsons. Oakley, Doakley. How ho, neighbor? What's going on, buddy? They came by my practice. They said, Shep, can we speak to you? I said, cool, what's up? What's going on? They were like, man, we've been hearing a lot of things about you. We do a men's breakfast every Friday morning over in Orlando. We love to pick you up at 5:30 in the morning. We'll come down to the hood. We're not scared. We'll come down there and pick you up from the hood. We're going to take you. There's going to be some free food. He says different businessmen, coaches, guys for the community. He said, man, we'd love to hear more about your story, for you to hear more about us, man. He says, iron sharpens iron, one man sharpens another. And we get to school before school starts. All I heard was 1111, 1111, free food. So I went. Afterwards, they said, we really like you, Shep. We'd love to send you to a camp this summer. It's 1 week out of your summer, and it's $300 or something. Before they finished, I cut them off, because I knew I couldn't afford it. And they said, no, Shep, we want a scholarship. Scholarship, I know that word now. That means free. And free's my first cousin. So they put me on a charter bus out of Orlando, and the first time I ever left the hood in my entire life. They sent me up to Black Mountain, North Carolina. I went through Georgia, I went through the upstate in South Carolina, and they took me all the way to North Carolina at this camp, and they divided you into groups of like 10 or 12 athletes, and they put you with one college athlete. How many college athletes? That sacrifice 1 week out of their summer to pour into the lives of others. This is why I do what I do specifically with athletes. This is why I face my fear for a living. I speak over 200 times a year around the world. And public speaking is my greatest fear. You should have saw me at the hotel before I drove over. I was shaking like booty meat. You know what I'm saying? I'm scared to death. But I literally face my fear for a living because of what happened. At this camp, the second day of the camp, they put me with a guy who was from Kentucky. So I'm from Florida. I'm on the mountain in North Carolina. The guy's from Kentucky, but he's in school at the University of Alabama. And he's up me Smith, this mountain in North Carolina. An athlete changed my life. And that's why I do what I do with athletes. The second day at camp, I don't know if y'all know the name, Sean Alexander. But it's before he was the NFL's MVP. It was before he was on the front of Madden. It was before he was a $64 million man. It was before he met his wife Val, and they had 10 kids. He had 10 kids. This man was just a college athlete that sacrificed 1 week out of his summer to pour into the lives of other athletes. We were up on that mountain the second day of camp, and Sean pulled me aside. I want you to hear this part. Watch this. Sean pulls me aside, and this is going to show how ignorant I was. I had never heard a black dude speak correct English before in my entire life. I know that's terrible. Like, he's like, hey brother, how you doing? What's going on, man? I'm like, why are you talking like that? They're not around. Why are you talking like that? I don't understand. I highlight that point because I want you to know, although Sean's an African American, he didn't grow up like I grew up. And sometimes I think we get so caught up with people's paint job or their experience, when I wish there were more students here, because I always try to tell students, when help comes, let help help. Stop getting so caught up in how a person looks or what age they are, or if they grew up like you grew up. If they truly care about you and they're trying to make a difference in your life, when help comes, do what? Let help help. Sean pulls me aside, he said, Shep, this is why I do what I do. Okay, get through this. Here we go. We're going to close strong. He said, Shep, I love you, man. My legs locked in place. Tears started streaming from my eyes. I had never heard that from a man in my entire life. My mother had never told me she loved me. The first time I ever heard I love you in my entire life was right before I turned 15 years old on the side of a mountain in North Carolina. I didn't know how to respond. I had tears fall without permission. This dude don't even know me, you know what I'm saying? He don't know what I've been through. He don't understand the struggle. What does he mean, love me, man? What does he mean? I'm frozen, I can't move. My mouth can't move, I'm just crying. Watch what he does to me next. He put his hand on my shoulder. See, I had been stabbed 6 times. I had been shot at, I had been in handcuffs. I had never been touched and loved by a man before in my entire life. Men in the truth, if there are any young men in your circle of influence that can say the same thing I just said, you got work to do. So he tells me he loves me, then he touches me in love, puts his hand on my shoulder, looks me in my eyes, he says something I didn't forget from that day to this one. He said, Shep, I know you're hurting from what your dad didn't do. I'm not trying to be your dad, man. He said, I want to be your mentor, I want to be your big brother. He used a big word for me at the time. He said, I want to disciple you. And if you let me, I want to pour into your life for the rest of your life. Sean made a commitment. He made a what? I mean, to this day, we live 6 miles from each other in Northern Virginia outside of D.C. He made a commitment to pour into my life for the rest of my life. I have a new attitude. I'm flowing with the right people. Now I got mentors. I'm willing to put in the work, and my life began to transform. You can Google the rest. I went on to become, they had this ceremony where people wear long robes and flat caps with little strings that hang from you. You know what I'm talking about? So February 7th of my senior year, y'all remember that word I never heard of before in my life? What was it?
Scholarship.
I had to choose between 27 Division I scholarships my senior year. I said my name this ceremony. So a group of volunteers from the local newspaper researched our family tree, and they found it to be true what they had heard, the rumors. They couldn't find one male who had ever walked a high school graduation stage. They started writing letters to our family in South Carolina, in Georgia, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, letting them know there was a boy in our bloodline who was supposed to graduate high school. There was a big hour-long special on television. It was a big write-up in the newspaper. I was the first male graduate in the history of my family. When they called my name in that graduation, they had to take a break in the graduation. You hear what I'm saying? Those folks went wild. They started doing the wave. They went crazy in that place. When I shook that principal's hand and he handed me that diploma, it was bigger than anything I'd ever done on the football field. When I shook that principal's hand and he handed me that diploma, it was bigger than being a state champion. When I shook that principal's hand and he handed me that diploma, it was better than any pretty girl in our area. And fellas, I don't know if you've ever been to the state of Florida, but we got them now. Long, pretty hair, pretty white teeth, let's hit some fingertips. You feel me? But when I shook that principal's hand and he handed me that diploma, it was bigger than any of those things. I changed my mind at 14 years old, and it started a process of changing my life. I went on to start in college. I played for legendary coach Howard Schnellenberger at 17 years old. I finished with 42 Division I starts. I had what they deemed to be a Hall of Fame career. In 2007, I was inducted in my Hall of Fame years later after my playing career. But the best thing that happened to me in college, in a family where no one had ever been to college before, because I was going against the flow. I was willing to be different. I wasn't going to make excuses. I decided I would make history. I'll say that again. Decide that you won't make excuses, but instead you'll make what? History. I became the first college graduate in the history of my family. I graduated with a degree in corporate communication. I got a degree in sociology. I even got a minor in ethnic studies. I figured if they're going to pay for it, I'm going to get all this work. You feel me? And at 21 years old, I signed my first contract into the National Football League to play for legendary coach John Gruden. I made my first $1 million at 21 years old. In a lot of people's mind, I went from zero to hero. But it had nothing to do with how strong I was. Had nothing to do with how fast I was. Had everything to do with a decision. A what? Decision. I made it 14 years old. I changed my mind, and it changed my life. I told y'all all of that to tell you these three things. Here's the first one. I love you. And I want you to know that your life has purpose. Your life has meaning. And I understand that you are the ones that are pouring out. And that's why I showed up this morning hoping to pour in. Because many times I need you to understand, when your output exceeds your intake, then your upkeep becomes your downfall. I'll say it again. When your output exceeds your intake, then your upkeep becomes your what? Downfall. So as you all are taking care of so many, pouring into so many, make sure you're taking care of yourself. You are loved. You matter. You're significant. And I know life is difficult. You weigh so much on your shoulders. I know what it's like to get trapped in your head. I told you about where I was at 14. And I want you to know sometimes the devil will lie to you in your own voice. And nobody around you will know that you're thinking thoughts about, you know, she just won Teacher of the Year. I just saw her at the event. How can I read this or see this on the bottom of the screen? I know what it's like to think those thoughts or feel those feelings. And I'm here to let you know those thoughts that telling you this place would be better without you in it, it's a lie. This room would not have been the same this morning if you weren't here. And I'm not saying things won't be difficult. There's been times in my life where change didn't show up until 11:59. But I need you to know that you'll stay in the game. Some people say never quit. I feel like those are two negative words, right? Never and quit. I like to say stay in the game. Let's make a declaration and a commitment that I won't give up, I won't give out, I won't give in. No matter what, I'll lean into life. No matter what I lose in life, I'll keep the faith and believing that things will change. This situation won't be this way always. And some of the giants in your life, you may not be able to slay them, just outlive them. You understand what I'm saying? Make a decision. And I'm going to hold on. And I'm going to lean into it. And I will not give out. So I told you, I love you. Your life matters. Second thing I want to tell you is that woman lied to me. A woman who sexually abused me from my mother's church at 10 years old. Y'all remember what she called me? She told me I was a loser. I kept living. You know what I found out? We're not born winners or losers. We're born choosers. You have a right to decide what's going to happen with the rest of your life. It doesn't matter where you've been. It doesn't even matter where you were when you sat in this room. All that matters is where you're going. And guess who decides that? You do. That's right. The third and final thing that I want to teach you, I got to teach you on your feet, so stand with me. Come on, here we go. No matter where I am in the world, I find a mirror and I say the same thing every single morning. Many of you may have heard it before, but I want to teach you. No matter where I've been in the world since I was 14 years old. There's only two things I do consistently. The first thing is every Friday, no matter where I am in the world, I go to the movies. So any movie since 1998, if it went to theaters, I saw it. I remember seeing Fast and Furious in Shanghai, China. I've been in countries where I just got to watch the words on the bottom, but no matter where I am in the world, y'all know where I'm going after this. No matter where I'm in the world, I go to movies every Friday. But the other thing that I do every single day is I find a mirror, whether I'm in Guatemala or whether I'm in Paris, France, whether I'm in Bel Air or whether I'm in Walterboro, South Carolina. I find a mirror and I say good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good is better and your better is best. I'll say it again. I say good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good is better and your better is best. What does that mean? Don't be satisfied with being good. Don't even be satisfied with being better. I want you guys to make a commitment to not stop until you're the absolute best that you could possibly. You don't have to be a carbon copy of anybody else. Just be the authentic version of you that you were created to be. And speak this year now, I don't ever want you to find yourself coasting. Because if you're coasting, you're probably going where? Down here. Make a decision that I'll lean into it. I'll make every single day count. Repeat after me. Say good, better, best. Good, better, best. Never let it rest. Never let it rest. Until your good is better. Until your good is better. And your better is best. And your better is best. Now I've heard people more hyped than that in the bingo hall. Now let's raise our energy level. Say good, better, best. Good, better, best. Never let it rest. Never let it rest. Until your good is better. Until your good is better. And your better is best. And your better is best. Now y'all know I'm competitive. I want to see who's doing it better. Ladies, say good, better, best. Good, better, best. Never let it rest. Never let it rest. Until your good is better. Until your good is better. And your better is best. And your better is best. Fellas, don't you let me down now. We outnumbered, but we won't be outdone. Say good, better, best. Good, better, best. Never let it rest. Never let it rest. Until your good is better. Until your good is better. And your better is best. And your better is best. Everybody last time, say it from your heart. Say good, better, best. Good, better, best. Never let it rest. Never let it rest. Until your good is better. Till your good is better. And your better is best. And your better is best. Give me with your heart, not just your ears. When nobody gives you a chance. Are y'all listening to me? When no one gives you a chance, I need you to hear me. When no one gives you a chance, because nobody gave me one. When no one gives you a chance, take one. God bless you all.
Those inspiring words. Make a decision. Be committed. Go against the flow. Thank you so much. We really appreciate that. We've had a wonderful morning, have we? We've had a wonderful morning, have we? Yes, wonderful morning. Great start to the 2019-20 school year. So, at this time, we're coming to the close of our program. And our first program, and we want you to give our superintendent, our fearless leader, some love as he comes forward with our closing remarks. Dr. Foster.
Guys, I think we are energized and ready to go. Is everybody ready? All right, our 5,500 students are ready for us on Monday, so we've got to be ready. We've got to take a lot of the things that we've heard today to heart this weekend and be ready for them on Monday. Fired up and ready to go with them. Guys, we're going to go ahead and close this part of our back-to-school kickoff. As you are aware, we have another training that we have to do after this. So I'm going to go ahead and let everybody have a 15-minute intermission to give you time to stretch, use the restroom if you need to, but you need to make sure you're back in your seats by 11, 10:30, 10:40 would be a good time. 10:40, I need you back in your seats. So turn and tell your neighbor, I'll see you at 10:40 in your seat.